Jules here from Joolsedesigns at Tatty Creations. So welcome to my channel, welcome all my new subscribers. So today what we're going to do is we're going to do some page flaps. Now anybody that knows me or has been following me for a while knows that I fold my pages over in half and put them on fins, which leaves this open, and what I do is I stitch round that. So before I stitched round, I did some flaps. So it's like a policy closure. And I did a long bit of cord, so I popped them in there. I did a little belly band because I wanted to hold some old documents and an envelope I'd made, and that would just pop down there. And what I did was I did a bit of mixed media on this one just to match it up with the colours, and I think I did quite a good job actually. And then I actually embossed the card after I'd, well, it's actually debossed. And then I put some labels on it. So what I want to do is I want to do another one, obviously, for... So what I've got is I printed that page off again and I cut it at 5 inches. So it's a full A4 sheet, which is just a bit smaller than this. And I cut it at 5.5 inches actually, because that's kind of what I want, is 5.5 inches. I don't want a great load of... I probably want that there, so we'll take it off that, so we'll see what that is. So that's 2.5. So what I want to do is I want to put a 1/2 inch fold on this side first, because this is the flap part that's going to fold down and go into the top and bottom of the page. And then I want it at about 2.5. And this is what I did with the other one as well. I just folded it in half. Now the other one I did with a bit less card. This is a thicker card, so I'll probably cut that off, but that's how that'll sit there. So we'll do that with the other one. So the top I want 2.5, which is there, because it's in inch increments. Centimeters are down here. Fold it in half, and then at 2.5, and put that up again, and then we'll fold that over. So I don't need my board now, and while we do these cards we can put this out of the way. So that's going up that way, that's going that way. So what I do want to do is I want to burnish these edges, because it's quite heavy card. I can't burnish the edges down with my nails, and the backs of my nails is easy. Paper I can do, and light card that's no problem. So what I want to do is the flaps that go into the top, I just want to miter the edges a little bit. So I'm just taking it in about probably 1/4 centimetre, maybe it's even 1/2 centimetre. Now what I did want to decide was whether I wanted a fancy edge, but I don't think I do, because I'm going to put policy pocket on. So what we're going to do is I'm going to trim these off, and I'm going to do it on the trimmer, so I'll be back in a few seconds. Okay, so there we are. So we've got our top and our bottom. I'm going to corner the edges on a smaller, this is a smaller corner than the normal one. Okay. And I think we will ink around the edges. So I'm going to use Scotch Timber. It's a brown, but it's got kind of a, well, it depends on what you put it on. Sometimes it has a greeny tinge to it, sometimes it doesn't. That's the top, and this one's the bottom. Okay, we'll put the lid on that and pop it out of the way. Now what I do want is, I've got some circles here already, so I think we'll have that one there. Don't have any more cream ones, so it's going to have to be, I think we'll have that. It's kind of an iridescent one. I think we'll have an iridescent one on that one as well. And I'll need to get another, this is an inch circle punch, so I probably need to get another one. And just stick these down. This is just spare bits of card that I cut these circles out of. And we'll just pop them there a minute, because what I want to do is I want to do a little bit of stamping, and I think I'll do this one because it fits perfect. Okay, and I'm going to use I'm going to use green topaz, and these are the Spectrum Noir. I got the full set when they first came out, so they're quite nice. They've got a nice colours, and the water based, so they blend, so I quite like them for that. I've never tried to see if they're water reactive. I'll need to do that. And there we are. We'll just wipe that up and pop that. And what I like about these is you don't have to buy the colour guides or make your own. They have them on, which is perfect because they came with the tray. And I'm going to do and this one's got green on it. I think it's got rustic wilderness on it, so that'll go there. This one's a bit off, so I'm just filling in that little bit there. Doesn't matter. And this is just a foam, actually it goes up that way, that I got in either a phone box or when I've bought a glass screen protector. So there we are, we have that one, and that one goes down at the bottom. Just put that there so we can get them guesstimations about right. If it's off a little bit, it doesn't matter. And I just wiggle that in there a bit. Okay. And what I want now is I've got these now. These I got from QVC years and years ago, and I think we'll have the gold one. I wasn't going to, but I quite like these little gold, and just fold the legs over like that. It's about time I started using them, because I've probably had them since QVC started doing craft stuff with Dawn Bibby. That's many moons ago. And there we are. There, move them out the way. So bring back the journal, and this pops in there. Now before I stick it, because obviously I've stuck it onto the fin, and I've had to just be careful how I stuck it onto the fin, because I want these two to line up together. So can I put that right? So that's as far as I can put that one over. So I want this one to match. All right, anyway, what we'll do is we'll stick this one in first, and I'm just going to put a tiny bit of tape down, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink over it. Not going to press it totally on, but just enough to because, as I've said before, these need to be pressed down from the top, otherwise you get the tape trying to bend over the legs and it doesn't. There, see, like it. And then we'll just lightly go over that. Now it's cream, and one of the reasons I did it cream was so I didn't have to, I could have printed the other side of the card, that would have been fine. And again, whoops, you can use a pair of scissors just pressing it down. There we are. The one thing about masking tape, oh, come away. One thing about masking tape is it it is easily inked over, which is quite good. That starts to come away. I'll need to put some glue. Normally with masking tape you don't need to glue it. But I think right, okay. We'll take that off and we'll put another bit. That must have been the very end and it's not the greatest. In fact, I'm going to ink it on the roll. I just need a strip. It's just to coat the legs. If you want, you can leave it. And then all I'm doing is I'm just pressing that down. And there we are. So again, bring this in. Now I want ink on both sides of this. Glue. Right, so glue both sides. Okay. And just pop that in, making sure that you can bend it over and that it's stuck down there. And I've stuck the top to the bottom and the bottom to the top. Doesn't matter. A bit of variety won't harm you. And when I put that one in, that needs to be exact. So it needs to be there. So I'm just going to put a little tiny, where's my gold pencil? I've got a gold pencil somewhere. Can't find it. I need to use my silver one. So I've got a little line there. Again, glue in both sides. And there we are, we've matched it up. And then press that down, fold it over and press it on both sides. And there we are. So now I want a belly band, and yes, I've got these offcuts and I could use one of them. I don't have to have but on the other one I made it look like a pocket, and I think I might do that again. So again, we'll round the corners. I'll do the corners all four, and then we'll ink round it. The other one I made it a little bit longer and folded the edges in. It doesn't really matter, it's just documents and just to stop things popping out. And then thin line, and I can't have it that way. I've got to have it that way, don't I? I've got to have it matching. I'm not normally one for matchy things, but today I am. And there we are. So we've got our belly band. And then what I want is I want some twine. I don't think I've got the colour I want. That's got gold flecks in it, so I think we might have that one, but I won't have it as with a dangle on it like I had the other one, because this is a bit thicker. The other one was crochet cotton, and if I go in my bag of crochet, I use it for tatting. I've probably got this colour. And then what we'll do is we'll go around there once, twice, and then round the top again. No, I won't. I'm actually just going to do it. We'll do is just in case I decide to change my mind and put a little dangle on it. I might. So that's that. I'm quite pleased with that. But what I want to do is I had some bits and pieces, little labels and things. So what I want is I want the labels out, and I had an address, but I think we'll do them on this side. Should we do them on the top? Quite like that there. It looks quite could have that there. It's a silver one. Got some green labels here. Quite like them as well. That says postcard. Quite like that. Now what do I want down here? That says prayers. That's just a bit of book page. So what we'll do is we'll go around, and I'm doing it in the green like I did on the other side. And again with this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put some numbers on that under the prayers. Got here number, got some little numbers, and I will use I can't do that because it doesn't fit. Now, oh dear, when the labels all over. I think we might have one of them as well. We'll see. So I'm going to go into my Spectrum Noir. We're using Lagoon, and it's just like a deep turquoise. one, take that one off, and there. We'll do one here, and we'll do one on there. It doesn't matter if it's the same number. It's okay. We'll put that there so it looks like a ticket. And there we have it. And I have blue here, so I'm just popping that on the Unzip Lagoon. And I'm just inking round here, because although the colour is green, turquoise and gold, which is kind of very Egyptian-y. So although the kit itself is called Aqua and Gold, and this one will have a little bit more than that one, so give this one a good and we'll pop that back and that one back. Put them there and we'll start. So this one's going on the top. Oh. Yeah, quite like that. I'm going to lift it up a little bit because I don't want it to totally stick down. Because I want this underneath. I want it pulled right to the very edge. There we are. And yep, that's going to go there. I was going to put that somewhere else, but I'm not. No, let's put another one on. Put that one down there. I'm going to put this one on first, but again, I'm just going to ink it in the middle, just in case I put anything. Just move. I'm not putting that one quite to the edge. I've got a slight border around that and a slight border around that. And I'm going to have that there. I'm going to have it underneath, so I'm just hiding the number that I stamped on, but never mind. And yeah, I'm going to have that there. Whoops. And again, these labels, there is a tutorial for them. They're just stamped on scrap bits of card and paper strips, bits of newspaper strips, you name it, I've stamped on it. And it's just it was June, so if you just look back in the history, and we've got a nice document here. I'm just going to rip the edges off. Oh, not so good, Julie, not so good. So it's a bit more, but that's fine, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over these. We'll have a bit more Scotch timber on that. Don't want to overdo it. So we'll do the ends first. And just going over it a bit and just picking up on all the creases. Do it like that. And we'll do a little bit here. That's better. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold that up, and I did a light coffee dye, tea dye on the back. Now this might be a little bit tall, it is. So what we'll do is we will take a little bit more off that end. Better. And then we can open this, pop that in, and this is actually thin typewriter paper that I print these documents out on. I don't print them out on anything too heavy. And I think we'll have another envelope in there. And then we will fasten it up. And there we are. And I'll keep these strips for bits and pieces. So I hope you get something out of that. As I say, what I might do is I might put some documents out for you to print out. That's what I did on the other one. It's like an old letter. But as I say, these it's just the way I put them in, because I like my journal to lay like a waterfall when it's open. And then it opens and it stays quite flat, you're not sort of like struggling. So in this one, this is the aqua and gold, so I've got some cabbage dyed paper just every now and again. That's a bit bulky, so what I might do is let that hang out. cabbage dyed paper again. And it's a nice kit. And then see when you get to the bottom, unless obviously you've got like big bulky things, but these measure 1/4 of an inch. And just before Christmas I did a double belly band, and I show how I put these, how I do these fins and put them on, if if you're wanting to do that. Again, and that was a bit of coffee dyed, because we had like a cream colour there. I wanted a bit of coffee dyed. And then all I do is, that's 2.5 inches in depth. So, and then I do my journal cover, and I just make it out of packaging. It's usually Amazon packaging or cereal packets. And you can see there, but I will stitch these pages in. What I usually do is I put them on the sewing machine and do a zigzag stitch round all of them. I'll see if I can get these done, but with them having card, that one I might struggle. I might not. I've stitched, I stitched through this type of card. It's not an expensive machine I've got. It'll definitely go through that. So anyway, enough waffling. I will see you in the next video, but I hope you get something out of that. I hope you'll try it. You don't need digitals. All you need is just some card, even paper doubled, news, book pages, anything like that. Decorate them how you want, to the theme of your journal, and just pop them in. If you haven't got pages that open up like that, you can actually stick it on the page and have it down. It doesn't matter. It's just that I quite like that, and I like the policy feel, keeping bits and pieces together. So, and this is kind of an eclectic journal. I'm just going to throw anything in this, not necessarily to match. Anyway, I will see you in the next video. Bye.